Took it on the chin last week against Blue Springs South. We got a tough one coming up against Kearney. Prepared to answer your questions.
Obviously wasn't the result you're looking for last Friday. Are you going to change anything for this upcoming game, or are you going to stick to what you're working with?
Well, you know, you find out after years of doing this that that it takes months and months and years to implement a style of play and what plays and schemes. You're not going to be able to redo it all in 1 week. That would be foolish. Football's a pretty unforgiving sport, particularly in comparison to some of our other sports. If you look at our schedule, we're not playing extraordinarily well right now, and 50% of our schedule is against teams ranked in the top 10 in the city. So if you translate that to some of these sports that play 30 games and stuff, then you're looking at 15 games against the best teams available in the city, and that's where we are right now in football. And we wouldn't have it. We're glad to play it. We're glad to compare ourselves against our opponents, but we definitely need to be playing better. So we're just going to do what we do, but do it better.
What do you feel like is the most important thing that you and the team took from the game on Friday?
Well, number one, you look at the game. Blue Springs South has an outstanding football team. We don't need to be giving them any easy breaks, and so the first thing that we look at is the turnovers. The second thing we look at is the blown coverages. You erase. We blew 2 coverages that are simple, basic things for us, and we gave the ball to them 3 times. And each time we gave the ball to them, we had just put together a few first downs and looked like we're moving the ball on them, and then boom, we throw it to them. So you take out those plays. You learn from those plays, obviously, but you take out those plays. And then we've got a much closer football game. And then, but the second piece is, when those things do happen, you need to respond by playing better, down after down. And I think that probably the biggest disappointment of the night, and something we've talked to the kids about, is after those mistakes, we got worse instead of better on the night. There were many points in the first half, and even a point in the third quarter, where it was going to still be a football game. But the mood wasn't there, the feeling wasn't there, the excitement in the kids wasn't there, and it enabled the other team just to become more physical than us and start really beating up on us.
Do you think playing against some of the best teams in the city is an advantage or a disadvantage?
It depends on how good you are. It's a heck of an advantage if you beat them all, right? But if you're gonna, if there's 2 things that will happen when you play against a great opponent, which we just played a great one. We're getting ready to play a great one. Kearney has scored 100 points in these last 2 games. All right. Either you're going to get better or you're going to get worse as a result of playing them. It won't stay the same. Football's a really emotional sport. You have to have your mind and your heart squared away for the simple reason of, blocking and tackling hurts. And if you're not emotionally prepared, fired up and ready to go, you're not going to be very good at blocking and tackling. And so either we're going to redouble our efforts and become a better football team as a result of this schedule right now, or else we're going to get worse, and it could get bad if we get worse.
What are you looking forward to most this season?
Well, every season, what I like the most is when you've got young men who've worked hard, who deserve to play, and they get their chance, and they get out there and they make plays and create memories for themselves. That's always my favorite part of coaching. We've got lots of opportunities left to do that.
With the rival Kearney coming up this week, is there a different atmosphere at practice around the team? Is it just completely different? Or?
Well, right now, we haven't played our style of football in the last 2 weeks. And so, you know, the atmosphere at practice as of yesterday was maybe still a little bit of a hangover from our performance on Friday. So, you know, we're going to certainly try to get things going and have some good quality practices this week. I mean, it doesn't get any easier. You know, we've got Kearney, then we've got Staley. Later in the season, we have Fort Osage, and so, you know, you're looking at Fort Osage and Staley are number 1 and number 2 teams in Class 5. We just played Blue Springs South, who's number 5 team in Class 6, you know, and we've got Kearney, who's number 3 team in Class 4. So, you know, our schedule lines up where we've got some serious tests, and we are perfectly capable of playing a tight, hard-fought football game with any of them and capable of winning them. But if we don't get our minds right, we're also capable of taking some beatdowns.
Is there anything specific that you and the team do before every game to get fired up and put your heart in the right place?
Well, you know, we have our ritual that we do as far as our pregame meal, our meetings, and then, you know, our preparations for the game. And yeah, we have a lot of things that are traditions that we do. You know, big picture is, you know, externally motivating things don't last a long time. We need kids who are motivated intrinsically from the inside out, and because, you know, the rah-rah stuff lasts as long as the rah-rah stuff goes. So we're not a big rah-rah team. We're, you know, we try to make sure that our kids are mentally and emotionally ready to play on the inside.
Are there any injuries from Friday's game that have come up? You have to change lineup or anything for this game?
I don't think so. You know, there were typical bumps and bruises. You know, some young guys who don't understand that sometimes, you know, in the course of a season, you're going to be hurt, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're injured. I think we'll be healthy going into this week. Thanks everybody for coming. Great questions, guys. And the life and enthusiasm and energy on your faces is just contagious. See ya.